in our community that will control the spread.
We know it sounds repetitive at this point, but again, wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear your mask.
Together, we have to hold the line.
In the number one batting position by my dear friend Denise Mendiola over at the Guam Community College, we are talking about ship repair opportunities for hardworking, aspiring, honest Guamanians, and there's basically 170,000 of those. So Denise, welcome back to the show, and it's been a while, so it's good to have you here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Yeah. Now ship repair is, I would dare say, for people of my generation, I'm approaching 50. It's always been a thing. It's been part of of our economy. It's been part of as a workforce opportunity. I mean, there literally was for so many years an organization, down in the central part of the island called Ship Repair Facility. So you guys are actually trying to, should we say, rekindle that fire for that kind of work, or like reignite it? Like how should we frame this, and what type of opportunities there are for people that want to get into this line of work?
Well, GCC has had a few ship repair boot camps in the last couple of years, but as you know, with the increase with the military activities and an increase at the port, there's a larger need for local skilled employees, those that can repair ships in different ways. So that's why GCC has come into the fold here to make sure that we can provide that support to our businesses such as Capras Marine and Guam Shipyard now.
Mm-hmm. And this is a unbelievably valued skill to have if you are a craftsman, and actually correct me if I'm wrong, but it's also multidisciplinary, because a lot of people are like, oh, okay, well, I can weld, and I can, I know about the metallurgy of ships and everything like that. But there's a lot of different areas that you can get involved in when it comes to, shall we say, like the umbrella industry of ship repair.
Definitely, there are many skill sets that are needed for ship repair. So, as an example, with this boot camp that we have coming up, we have welding, carpentry, electrical. In the past, we've had plumbing. Definitely blueprint reading. Those are the basic skills that are needed. And there are more. There are so many different skills, but for the most part, this is the most in demand that is needed right now with the ships.
Now, Denise, how about for people, and I know, like several friends of mine, former teammates, their fathers actually worked, at SRF, like for many, many years. And they all, gave glowing reviews about, the experience, the camaraderie, the constant challenge of it. Like it was never the same thing twice.
Definitely.
How about career advancement, like within that field and everything like that? So if you're someone who's worked, and say like, you were like a welder, you worked on like different classes of ships and everything like that, could you work like eventually, upscale to ship repair management or, things like that, project management?
Oh yes, there's so much opportunity in this area. So as you're talking about SRF, my uncle is one of those OGs from SRF, and yep. A lot of them are coming back. They had to, he ended up in Okinawa for 10 years. And so I had a chance to talk to the OGs. They came by for a barbecue, and they were telling me, they said, this is something that takes you so far and it lasts a lifetime. So these are highly skilled people. And so as welding as an example, yes, you start off, you learn it in the boot camp, you learn more courses, you get hands-on training with the employer, and you get put together with a journey worker, a journeyman. And so you're basically mentored. And as you progress and you learn more, you keep leveling up. And so until the point where you become a journey worker yourself. Mm-hmm. The pay is amazing. It's a great career to be in. As long as there's going to be a movement of goods, there's going to be a need for these types of skills.
Mm-hmm. Now, for people that may be thinking, okay, well, this sounds really, really cool, but I've made Guam my home. I've put down roots here. My wife and I, my husband and I, have raised children here and everything like that. Stability is my number one goal. The money's great, but I want to make sure that I've got a stable check coming in and everything like that. What are we talking about as far as like the types of jobs that this skill set has? Is it like typically contract work, or can you gain like employment that lasts years and years and years?
These boot camps are already the employer already decides they're going to hire 25, and right now they're in desperate need for employees. So this next boot camp that we're going to have, they're looking to hire at least 25 on the spot. So the the employer, which is Guam Shipyard, is going to interview, such as Cabras Marine. They interview them in the beginning of the boot camp. They pre-select who they think would be a good fit. They interview at the end, and then they hire them. They get them on board, and then they train them. They get them into their area of expertise, and then the continuing training, keeps going on and on for years until they reach up to that next level.
And next thing you know, you do a few work like this a few years ago, and you got one of those really, really nice houses up on Nimitz Hill because you made so much money. Now on the flip,
yeah, I tell you, it used to be go and get a 4-year degree. Now it's go get a skill, and then you'll get your 4-year degree.
Yeah.
Because as COVID has taught us that you have to pivot, you have to be able to shift when you can, and those with the skills are the first ones that get picked up.
Mm-hmm. So on the flip side of the coin, for people that may not necessarily want, like stability and said, Guam's my home, until kingdom come. How about if people say, I like the option for mobility and everything like that? These skills are absolutely transferable. So if you get picked up in, like, say, the San Diego Navy Yard, or on the other side of the country out in Norfolk, Virginia, and everything like that, these skills are 100% transferable, and the skills you're learning here are the exact same techniques that our friends in the mainland are using.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about being employed by these employers like Cabras Marine, they already have affiliates in different parts of the world, and so the reach is far and the opportunity is far. So you can go a long way with these skills. It's just a matter of deciding what it is that you enjoy doing, and you won't know until you try it. So that's what these boot camps are designed for, to get your foot in the door. And then again, like I said, look at the SRF guys. They were able to travel to different parts of the world, and some of them have come back, but they've never had issue, for the most part, finding jobs. They are the high-skilled labor and employees that people are looking for.
Okay. Now, since we were talking about like the SRF OGs, right? And I think that would make a beautiful business card right there. It's like, just put it SRF OG, and that immediately commands like infinite respect from like anybody who, knows what those acronyms mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could your course actually be used as, pun intended, maybe like a tune-up for people that have been working in the industry for a while and everything, and they want to modernize their skills, or just say like, hey, there's a couple areas that I've always wanted to maybe apprentice under and everything like that, but like I've been in my own little corner and everything like that. I'd like to kind of broaden my appeal.
Yes, GCC has courses every semester, welding, carpentry, electrical, HVAC. Anyone can apply and register and take those courses. For these types of boot camps that we've designed, Dr. Mary Okada wanted to make sure that this one was specific for people to be able to get employed. So at the very beginning, the employer sponsor is the one that decides how many employees they need, and then they help us to design the boot camp. So it's really made for these employers, depending on the demand and what they need. But for them, for the other stuff, GCC has an array of courses that are available to anyone that wants to get that tune up, get back into the mix of things. And they earn certificates at the end. They earn, some of them go as far as getting their associate's degrees, and then some of them test for the national exams. So it just depends on what their ultimate goal is.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you could go to like one of the technical schools that you guys offer, and you could get like, the tune up, or, go over to the cosmetology school and get the glow up, I guess, as the kids say.
Yeah, get the glow up.
Okay. So Denise, can we talk like maybe about scale now, right? Because like when people think on Guam, and people like myself, maybe perhaps naively, when it comes to like ship repair, we think of like, okay, well, you're going to work on the stuff that goes into the dry dock. So maybe like your flatliners, your cruise liners, your military grade ships and everything like that, big ships and everything like that. But do these skills also apply for maybe people that want to work on like smaller scale, like fishing boats, or or charter boats and everything like that? Not necessarily big, destroyers and carriers and everything like that, but people that actually want to make this maybe like a side hustle, or maybe like a family business where they repair boats.
Absolutely. It's something that's relevant in all areas. As long as the thing's is gonna float, there's gonna be a need for these skills. You'll notice for the smaller boats, they go into fiber, and it's more of a, because of the different types of materials that's used for smaller boats. So there'll be a different level of skills that are needed for that. But those basic foundation skills that they have are relevant for any type of industry. And we had to think about things that are coming up. So as you know, there's talk about the cruise line industry that's coming our way, and the plan is to go through Micronesia. Again, they're going to need skilled employees for that. So that's something that we have to, take into consideration. If we're not going to have our local employees do it, then that's why they're going to have to bring in the H2 workers and others, right? Contracts. So we're trying to make it so that there's opportunity for our local workforce first. And again, consider we're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. As long as there's movement of goods, as long as there's going to be a tourism industry in one form or another, there's going to be a need for these types of skills.
Yeah, and those are massive, massive boats. I mean, no disrespect, and to our friends like in the military, and the types of seacraft that they manage and everything like that. But those cruise liners are big.
Exactly. And then look at the other support employees that are going to be needed as well. So that's a whole nother tourism industry on a ship, right? So, consider all the support that's going to be needed to be able to manage and maintain those boats or those big liners. But that's just one component. The military is building up, and there's going to be an industry day coming up next week. So, and it's on ship repair, right? So that's something that we have to keep looking at. Is there's an increase in movement here, an increase in activities, and our workforce needs to be prepared for that.
Absolutely. Now, I just realized something. I guess I've been framing the discussion thus far in terms of like the dry dock, like I was saying, and like a ship comes in, like they mount it, they get rid of all the water and everything like that, and then people work on it, these huge crews and everything, and everybody gets it back to seaworthy form. Could you also possibly be, if you work for these companies, permanently or temporarily deployed out to sea on a boat, and you would be like hands-on real-time maintenance?
I'm sure that you can. I'm not real familiar with that. I've heard of some companies that send their employees out to Diego Garcia and places like that to support the ships out there. I'm not sure how many of them get to go, but I heard that it's pretty, the compensation is pretty good.
I've heard that. That's big money.
So somebody who's adventurous that wants to try something new, this is definitely a good career for them.
Okay.
But again, it goes back to it has to be something that they're interested in, and they want to be able to learn these skills, and they want to be able to learn from journey workers who are, these very experienced workers that are going to mentor them. And so with the boot camps that we have, and this is just one of many that are going to be happening in transportation, this is something that we hope that people would consider, especially those that have just graduated recently and are trying to think of something to do with themselves. Why not learn a new skill while you're thinking about what you're going to do with your life? Because once you learn that, that's something that already makes you competitive.
And if you have that on your LinkedIn profile, I mean, like, people are going to start hitting you up for, can we have a private message? I see that, you're an expert in shipbuilding, or you've got experience in, this kind of fabrication, machining, like what have you. Yeah. Exactly.
And safety, with the boot camps, they prioritize safety. We have work ethic training. So we're really trying to help that person to become the best employee for the employer. So it's not just about that one skill that they're learning. They're going to get all of these wraparound services that's going to help that person to be the best employee, for the people.
It's not just, okay, here's a nut, here's how to screw it into the bolt. You guys are actually providing like pretty much like soup to nuts, like the entire life cycle of what it means to actually work in the shipbuilding, or ship repair, I should say, the ship repairing industry.
Exactly. So, and again, these are things that the employers are asking for. They just really want to have good employees. That's the most important thing, with good attitudes. And then the skills they teach along the way. So it comes back to things like work ethic and your performance, and safety training like OSHA, basic life skills. They learn first aid, all of that, CPR. So all of that is wrapped around that person. And then once they're done with the boot camp, they're ready to go.
Now, our people, like not just Chamorro, but anybody who lives on Guam and everything like that, we're pretty much world renowned for our work ethic and our respect and everything. So we've already got that going for us. And they're like, hey, if I know you come from Guam, I can vet and I can vouch for the fact that, you're not going to be a drama queen. You're going to work really, really hard. You're going to be well trained, and you're going to get the job done.
I'd like to think so. But just in case, we're going to make sure you learn work ethic.
Oh, there you
and,
go.
And get a certificate out of it. And in addition to that, you also take an assessment called WorkKeys, where you earn a national certificate that shows your skill level in the workplace. And this is very helpful to the employer as well to see where your strengths and weaknesses are and to place you in the right area.
And that's a beautiful point by you. You know, like the biggest room in the world is a room for self-improvement. You can always get better.
Absolutely. And
Okay,
so this is a way for people to just get their foot in the door. The boot camp is absolutely free. It's already funded. We just need for them to turn in an application to GCC, and we're going to start this one boot camp on Wednesday.
Okay. Now, given that it is a boot camp, right? Like, it's a very condensed, it's very very intense, and it's very aggressive. So you're packing a lot of information into what would probably be a relatively short amount of time. How many hours of training does the boot camp entail?
It can run up to anywhere from 5 to 7 hours a day. So it's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm. How many days are we talking about?
I'm sorry?
How many days are we talking about? I'm sorry.
We're talking about 12 weeks.
Okay.
5 days a week, including 2 Saturdays for life-saving basic life-saving skills trainings. So it is pretty intense. The nice thing about it, though, is you're with a cohort of about 24 other people. And so you are able to have some support with your peers, and then you have GCC support, and then our stakeholder support. So there's a lot of wraparound there for that one person because it is intense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how can we sign up, and where can we go for more information? I mean, Chris Barnett and I are in.
Right, Chris. Chris is in.
Yeah. I'm into. I mean, I could do cross discipline. You know me, Denise. We've known each other like long enough. I grew up building web pages, but if I could fix a ship, I'm absolutely in.
I would definitely be on that ship with you, Jason. So the best way to get
we'll book the cruise liner. I'll have my people call your people.
Right. That's more fun than the military stuff. So they can get onto our website, www.guamcc.edu, or they can call us at 735-5627, or they can email us at workforce@guamcc.edu.
Excellent. And then after that, I know we would have to book, Denise Mendiola party of 4. So you got you, Chris, Sabrina, and myself, and we're going to go out and hang out on the cruise liner that we fixed and got back to.
On a 3-hour tour.
Yeah, well, I think I've heard that somewhere before. Hopefully it doesn't.
Right?
Okay, well, we got somebody on the phone, Denise, and they're asking, is there a certificate upon completion? Like, is
There is a
there
certificate.
recognized, like accreditation or things of this nature?
Absolutely. You earn a few. You earn an NCRC certificate. You also, most important, you earn college credits. So for the 3 courses that you're going to take in welding, carpentry, and electrical, you earn 3 credits for carpentry. You earn 5 credits for welding, and 4 credits for electrical. So the person already becomes a college student at that point.
Nice.
And then they earn certificates for first aid, for work ethic, for OSHA 10. You get your credentials. So yeah, lots of stuff that you get from this boot camp.
And this is 100% free, as you were saying.
Absolutely, 100%, because it's been paid for by tax dollars, I would imagine. But this is definitely 100% no cost to the student. Again, this is Guam's public-private investment. It's public-private partnership investment for a local workforce. We're trying to increase skilled workforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
A skilled workforce, and so if you know anybody, especially those that are underemployed, unemployed, we want to help them to be able to get into a good career.
Now, Denise, I guess final question is, we believe very strongly here at KUM, of course, about diversity, inclusivity, like that. How many women are actually, would you even muster a guess, how many women are actually working in the ship repair industry locally?
Not enough.
Not enough. Good answer.
We need more. Yeah, we need more. We had one young lady that completed in the last previous boot camp, and she was amazing. We have about 1 or 2 each boot camp. So we would love to see more young ladies or women come out. We had 2 women in the truck driving boot camp. They were awesome. So we do. That's a very good point. We need more women, but we also, need everyone from the local community to come out and participate.
Yeah.
So we definitely encourage everyone to just try and turn in their application and see if they can get into this.
This is an opportunity that you cannot afford to miss, people. Please give Denise and her team a call at GCC. This is a wonderful program, Denise, and thank you guys for making this available. This is really, really cool.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. And so again, please just find a way to get in contact with us. We'll be taking applications as all the way to the end. We start on Wednesday with orientation again, and then we get you right into it. And just for you guys, if just to let you know, we have a GED bootcamp coming up soon. And the reason why that's important is because a lot of folks that don't have the high school or diploma aren't able to participate in these boot camps or get a job. So we have a GED bootcamp coming up later, just in case that's something that someone would be interested in.
Okay, well, you've got a permanent spot here on the link. So anytime you want to come on and talk about all the myriad of ways that you guys are helping improve people's lives through education, through career opportunities and everything like that, all you got to do is drop us a line. You're in.
Thanks so much, you guys. I really appreciate it, and GCC really appreciates your support.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. Have a wonderful Monday. Let's keep in touch, and we want to find out how many people are in the next cohort.
Absolutely. I will keep in touch with you folks all the way to the end.
All right. Thank you much. Have a great day, Denise.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Denise.
guys. Bye.
All right. The link continues after this short break. Good morning, Guam.
This year, Giving Tuesday falls on November 30th.
And though our community is still facing some of the most challenging of times, there's no better time
to volunteer, donate, spread awareness, and do whatever you can to help those in need.
Let's continue to build a wave of generosity
that creates a ripple effect for all in our community.
Throughout the month of November, Team KUAM Care Force will be showcasing some of our favorite charities.